Hold on, guys. I just have to text my brother really quick from my computer. Okay, so welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a zodiac signs as fathers because I did one for zodiac signs as mothers and you guys seem to like that. So I will record this video live. Hello. And I will leave it up. And yeah, so it will be up. Don't worry. And if you're in the chat, hey, don't be afraid to say hello. I miss you too. And finally, now it's horizontal. It's not vertical because my silly ass did it vertical last time. Hi. Hello. How are you guys? Thank you, Sabrina. You're so sweet. Okay, so I will be answering questions as I talk about the fathers, but I just want to say that, you know, happy Father's Day regardless. If you do not have a father figure in your life, then you can, like as a male, it can be your mother, you know, it could be your uncle, it could be a stranger that you just met, like anybody that can give you protective energy and guidance in your life. I think that's important. You don't necessarily need to have someone that created you through little spermies. Okay, so alright, we're getting too PG up in here. No wait, rated R. Whatever, same thing. Today I went to the city for my father, for his Father's Day, and it was fun. We walked around Central Park, and my best friend, my Scorpio best friend's father and their family came along with us, so that was fun. We took pictures. It was really hot. It was like 91 degrees today, so I had to come home, touch up my hair and makeup, and I was like, gotta film. Gotta film. Gotta do it. So that's why I'm here. I got my water. Okay. What else? Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, concerns as I'm talking about the signs, let me know in the comments. Okay? Thanks. You're the best. And I have the zodiac signs all listed on a piece of paper so I can look at each one and I don't miss one. Yeah. I don't know, New York is just mad hot lately. Like the weather's up and down anyways, but today was just off the charts. Crazy. I'm gonna put on some meditation music because it helps calm me down. Can you guys hear that? It's 6:39 HZ. I go to sleep to this. It's really soothing. Can you hear it? It helps my etheric body. I like float. Your little brother's a Leo? Nice. Okay, so let's begin. Let me just lower this a little bit. Alright, so you guys know I start off with Aries and I end with Pisces. I will also put it in the description box, the times, or in the comments when I'm done with the video, where you guys can find everything. Alright, so I'm trying not to miss the comments too, so I'm like, hello Aquarius, Aquarius. Why is my light going away? Hello Gabe. Hate all the cancers. Let's begin, shall we? Let's do this thing. My dad's in the living room, so I feel like he's just gonna like pop by my door and be like, who are you talking to? Okay, speaking of my dad, let's talk about Aries. Aries fathers, to me, from what I've seen, is they can come off very, very cocky, very confident. And usually what happens is they start in families where they're given the role to take care of the rest of the children. So if you're like an Aries and you are the first child, you will be automatically given that role to take care of the rest of your siblings. And it's kind of like the Aries father figure. He learns at a young age how to act like a father. He learns at a young age how to care for another very quickly. And it's also evident because they are the first sign. So they father all the zodiac signs, just like how Pisces babies all the zodiac signs. Aries is there to protect and to guide and give the signs, give their children exactly what they need without them having to explain themselves. My father, speaking of, this is like, I study my dad without him even realizing it. I study him a lot, and he doesn't mind. But I've seen that he doesn't really try to make like an emotional connection. Like Aries will kind of dictate, but some, if they're not evolved, will try to control their children from afar. Even if they are evolved, they will control their children. But they let you do what you want because Aries are doers. They let their children do exactly what they need to do, even if it's risky and it's bad. So let's say you want to go out and party all night. Aries is like, why are you going out and partying? And then they kind of just like, they're like, all right, have fun, but I'm keeping my eye on you. And they're checking the time, they're calling you, they're making sure that like you're home on time. And they might yell at you when you walk through the door or like give you like an eye, like, what are you doing? I'm watching you. But they will never take their anger out on their children because, again, they have to protect you and guide you. They don't want to risk losing you. They will have temper tantrums. That is just how Aries acts because they want their children to feel like they can connect with the father, the Aryan father, and Aries fathers want to be like children. And that's something that they can learn from the last sign, Pisces, is to be childlike and, you know, not take life too seriously. So that's something that I would recommend for Aries fathers, or if you are an Aries father or you have a Aries father. Another thing with Aries is they're so full of life, and when you do see an Aries father kind of, spring out of that controlling nature, it's so much fun to be around them because they tell you stories and they guide you in a way where their life experiences, because they've done it all. Trust me, like Aries has done it all from the bad scale all the way to the good scale. And they see themselves as like very, very angelic and also very, very devilish. So they know who's good and who's bad immediately. But because the fathers have such good hearts, they can trust people too easily. So their masculine nature will tend to control the household. And it'll be hard for them to even advise or get advice from, you know, their spouse, you know? So they'll just kind of like do their own thing, and then all of a sudden their spouse is like, hey, you didn't like talk to me about that? Why are you just running up on shit and like doing what you want to do? And then they're just like, oh, sorry, I just felt like that was best for the family. You know, they go with their own head. And again, it all makes sense. Like, I love astrology. They run with their head. They just do what they have to do, and they follow their heart, and they don't think. It's just action oriented. Let me just get it done. What's good for my children? What's good for my family? What's good for the future? What can I do to not sit on my ass and make everything better for them? And there are times where if they are run by the head too much and they don't listen to their heart, or they don't listen to their children and what they need, there can be disconnect from their children. And that's something that Aries needs to work on, is showing emotion and not being afraid of that, because that ultimately will hinder the relationship with their family. So that's important. And another thing is, it can be hard to talk to them, but I think if you just ask them about their life and their advice, I'm sure they'd be happy to tell you, and that's how they kind of use that time to bond with you, rather than just like giving you like a nice pat on the back. They'd rather you show them affection. They'd rather you be like, Dad, like, I love you, let's do this, let's plan this, let's go here, let's, do you want like, do you want dinner, you want to do that? Like, they want you to show love, because it's hard for them to show love, because their way of showing love is working hard for you, putting a roof over your head, or giving you a car, like randomly, spontaneously. What else? Like, out of nowhere, an Aries father would be like, let's go for a run, or they're just so energetic when they're in a good place. And I think Aries fathers, they take that very seriously. It's like very important to them, and they know how to control a room. So it's very, very easy for them to bring the family together when need be. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I'm trying to think. You know, like, it's also, Aries is the first house, so motivation. They're gonna motivate you. They're gonna tell you like what you need to be doing in order to have a successful future, and they don't want to see you fail. I mean, no father wants to see you fail, but that's the whole point of this video, is to show you how each father of the zodiac sign or mother of the zodiac sign uses that inner energy the most. Like, what do they use the most? You know, like, some fathers don't do a lot, and some do, you know, do a lot. So it's the polarities of the differences, and I'm here to kind of explain that, so you don't get mad at your parents and you try to understand them, because that's the whole point of astrology, is to understand people. You want to get to know people, and it's not an excuse, it's just you want to help them get out of their delusion and be a better person, and find that inner core where it resonates the most, you know? Okay, so next is Taurus. I was trying to like mark it off and it wasn't even on, or I didn't even put it. What am I saying? I'm losing it today. I need water. Isn't it fun being with an Aquarius? Okay. Alright, Taurus, let's do this. Okay, Taurus, listen, I'm all about the love, okay? I love the love of a Taurus father, but they scare the shit out of me, okay? There's something about them, I'm trying to show you guys literally how Aries begins the set and continues on to Pisces. Whatever the first sign lacks, the second sign kind of completes, and it's just like this entire cycle. So Aries is afraid to show their affection. Taurus is not afraid to show their affection to their children. It's given. They get mad at you, you're gonna know. They're yelling at you, it's out of love. They're giving you affection, you're gonna be like, you were just yelling at me 2 seconds ago, what's going on? But you won't question it too much, because you will get used to it. Whereas the Aries yells at you, you know shit went wrong. Taurus, you're just like, oh yeah, my dad is just, he's just going through his mood swings. Okay, so Taurus, their opposite sign is Scorpio. So when a Taurus fills into that role of a father, they start to feel things that they've never even begun to feel, because it's so, they're used to people kind of using them and leaving. And when, sorry, I got a text. So when their children start using them, or their children start leaving them, all hell breaks loose. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm getting like texts left and right. Okay, so, we good? What's going on with my phone? Yeah. Now Taurus is learning so many things about being a father. And Scorpio is, I will get into it, has this figured out. Has it completely figured out. So Taurus is like, I should leave my kids to be themselves. But I want my kids to know that I need them. Like, I can't be without them. Like, they need to be in a slight part of this. It's possession, because Taurus rules possession. So they're like, oh yeah, I can possess this TV and this remote and that car and this house, and I put this over your head, and I did that, and I did this. But they know that they cannot control a human being. So when their children start growing up, or they start to see that they have to be taking care of their children and their education, or, you know, their clothes, or this or that, they start freaking out internally inside. And it comes naturally to them. It's just, they're like, I can't be as laid back as I used to be. Are you guys following me? Like, the Taurus has to step their game up. They can't just be thinking about themselves anymore. So that will eventually lead them to becoming devolved as a sign if they don't step their game up as a father, because that's the time where they have to know that you cannot possess your child to stay with you forever and take care of you forever. But you do have to give. You can't expect anything back. You know, like, eventually your children are going to leave the home. So they will have severe mood swings. Like, the first person that comes to my mind is Chris Brown. But, you know, there's other signs. David Beckham. What else? Travis Scott. Kylie Jenner's boyfriend, fiance. Like, I don't even know if they're married. But you will start to see them, like, kind of like going up and down eventually. David Beckham, he keeps his cool, but for the most part, you don't see behind the facade, you know? Like, celebrities kind of hide it, but you will see it mostly in celebrities, like how they treat their children. Anyways, because they're in front of the camera all the time. Sun, you know, it's always shining. Cameras, you see it. You see it all. Another thing about Taurus fathers is they won't be afraid to cook for their children, because they do love their food. They do love the luxury of food. I'm not nervous. It's just my heart is, I have acid reflux, so I had food before, and it keeps coming up, and it's like making me hot. And the lights aren't helping either. But good question. Thank you. So, as I was saying, Taurus will take care of their children and guide them with everyday responsibilities. Take out the trash. Did you clean your car? Did you clean your room? Did you clean the bathroom? Did you clean the kitchen? Did you clean up after yourself? Did you pay your bills? Like, they're always going to be on your ass, is the best way that I can explain it. And that's how they show their love. But they're also not afraid to show you affection. They'll take their sons out to play sports or to movies. And they're not afraid to, like, take you out and have an adventure and kind of appreciate life, because that's all about the Taurus, is to appreciate life. And children to them, once they fill into that role, it's like glorious. It's like, okay, I can do this, I can do this. But as they get older, then you start to see the freak out a little bit, because they've given their entire lives to the child that, you know, eventually they're gonna leave the herd, and those children need to be on their own. So Taurus can feel, you know, a little bit alone in that period, and it's interesting because they, you know, how do I explain this? They're a very misunderstood sign, a fixed sign. I don't want to say it the wrong way. Okay. The suppressed anger and emotions and abuse that Taurus goes through in life by being silent, because a lot of Taurus fathers are quiet. They lead by their body language. That's how they help their children. So all of a sudden it will blow up out of nowhere and they might lose their child. So they have to be careful, like, about that. They have to be careful with that. I'm on Taurus right now. I'm going through the list. So next is Gemini. And then one more thing about Taurus. Taurus fathers, they're so good at bonding with the family that they also need a separate room for themselves. A Taurus father won't say this, but they need it. They need their separate room. They need time alone. And as a fixed sign, it can be very stubborn about this, their own space. So I wouldn't be surprised if a Taurus father had their own, like, game room, relaxation room, bonding time with the boy, like a specific night throughout the week where they have bonding time with the boys, or like just going out with themselves. So that's important for them. And then I think that's all for Taurus fathers. Okay, we're gonna go on to Gemini. Okay. Gemini fathers can be a little bit flighty, but again, another misunderstood sign for sure. Gemini fathers are not quick to become fathers. They don't plan this. It just happens. And that's because they're smooth talkers. You know, they know. You know, you smooth talk, and then what happens? You go to bed, right? And then what happens? Babies, my friends. Babies. I don't know why I just made that noise, but babies. And they're not used to it when they first encounter a baby, and they're like, oh yeah, is that baby mine? Yeah, that baby's mine. Crazy. Wow, I gotta take care of that. And then once that clicks, boom, they click into it. They become that father that you can go to for everything, that you can party with, that you can have serious conversations with, that you can learn life lessons from. A completion of Taurus and Aries. And I find it so interesting because Gemini is, I think, the third house, and that is siblings, like brothers and sisters. So Gemini knows this. Brother, sister, like, it's a mirror. Like, Gemini looks at each other. So for them to look at their children, it's no different. It's very easy for them. But again, like, it happens out of nowhere, but it's a great surprise for them. And they need more time to appreciate other people. So you will see a Gemini having friends over. Like, the Gemini father will bring friends over and have game nights and parties. Like I said in the Gemini mothers video, they're very, it's the same. It's, when I think of Gemini, I always think it's like a female and like the twins. Like, I always think it's like a female and a male combined, because Gemini is both feminine and masculine, like the connection between the two. So they just understand both both of those realms. Yes, what's your question? What else? I forgot to mark off Taurus. Another thing about Gemini is it's not that they don't feel connected to their family, but their children will feel like their father is a child themselves, because Gemini is ruled by children, childlike behavior. So the child won't be able to, you know, they won't be able to like compare themselves to the Gemini father at all, because the Gemini lives life based on youthfulness, and the child is already youthful. So what do they have to do as they grow up? They have to be, you know, they have to carry that youthfulness, but they also have to learn how to be serious. So responsibility, you know, taking life kind of serious. Yes, fatherhood doesn't really click for Gemini dads very quickly, like I said, but I mean, again, that's something that they will learn in time. And they're not afraid to express themselves, so you will know everything that they're feeling, everything that they're thinking. And they're number one at guiding you. They're number one at making you feel like you don't have to grow up too fast. While society kind of pushes that, like, grow up, get your shit together. Gemini father's like, relax, just chill, enjoy life, take it all in, you know, do what you gotta do to not grow up so fast. And I think that's something that is great about Gemini, is they kind of take life as it is. They're not in a rush, and they're getting to know everything that they come into contact with, whether that's a person, an object, you know, whatever. And one more thing about Gemini that I really, really wanted to talk about. It's a little bit scary for Gemini father, because I don't like talking about cheating in astrology too much, because there's no discussion for this. Like, cheating is cheating, and I think every sign will cheat regardless. I'm not saying they will, but like, if they have it in them, it's just gonna come out, you know, it's just gonna happen. But that's why be loyal, my friends. Gemini father, because they're so good with the mouth and self-expression, you know, easily they can fall into traps, and they have to be careful with that. They have to keep reminding themselves, like, I have a family, I have a family, I have a family, I have a family, I have kids, I have a family, I have kids, you know, like, constant. And to stay and stick true and loyal by that family, because they're just, you know, there's this thing with, like, once you're in a family, once you have a home, you feel stuck, quote unquote stuck. So you're just like, I need to find something better out there. And Gemini's always trying to find something better. So they're like, oh yeah, there's no difference. Like, I'm always doing this. No, you have a family. You have a family. So you just, like, they gotta stay in line because of that. But other than that, they're great to have around. What else? You know, and they're ruled by Mercury, so that kind of explains it, you know? Virgo too. I'm being so distracted lately. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we're done with Gemini. Next is Cancer father. Okay, so we all know Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is representation of the mother. Like, that's just generally how it is. So for a Cancer father to step in the role of responsibility and taking care of children and taking care of a family, it's a whole nother ballgame that they're already prepared for, like, since they were in the womb. Like, it's just in their genetics. But sometimes the Cancer father can be so up and down that it scares their children. And not in a bad way, it's just like the child doesn't know if they have to take care of themselves, if they have to take care of the parent. Like, you know, the parent, the father, the head of the household is supposed to take care of the children. So for the child to feel kind of like conflicted, like, who's really in this game right now? Like, who's playing? Like, me? Am I taking care of you? Like, what's going on? So Cancerian fathers are laid back, like very, very laid back. They don't want to do too much, and they just want to show love. But, okay, you want to show love, peace and love, okay, cool. But your child needs protective guidance. And they can be protective, but that protective nature in a Cancer will only come out when they're triggered and when they're angry. So that will bounce off to the child. If they don't feel like they're being protected by the Cancerian father, like physically and verbally, then it's not really going to serve them in the long run, you know? And I've seen this. I've seen children of Cancerian fathers just, they're like chaotic. They're all over the place. And once they find adulthood, they're like, oh, I know love. I know how to give love, but like, what's protecting me? What's going on? Why do people keep leaving me? You know? What else? And also, Cancerian fathers, they tend to be so soft-hearted that they're not afraid to express how they feel to their children. They're not afraid to be home all the time. You'll always see a Cancer father at home, unless they have like fire in their chart. You're not really gonna see them like doing too much, you know? So they're really just all about the home. They're at every single game, every single concert. They also care so much about their spouse, and they understand that family has to be like connected all the time, which is why, you know, families go through a lot of shit. So this connection is like, oh, like they're still trying to hold on, right? The pinchers, they're like, oh, what? Like, ow, I'm cutting myself, I'm hurting myself. And then if they're not completely evolved, they'll take it out on their children. Instead, they should be opening up to their children, becoming vulnerable and not suppressing everything deep, deep, deep down, you know? Cancer mothers aren't like that too much. They're not afraid to express it because of like the feminine nature. Again, this is what society does to us. And then the father's supposed to be like, oh, don't show emotion. Why not? Just tell them how it is. So that's something that Cancerian fathers, it would be helpful for them. Another thing about Cancerian fathers is they have a tendency to fall into a trap. And what kind of trap do I assume? They will kind of be controlled by their children, by their spouse, and they'll say yes to everything. Everything. And eventually that will be, it's not a good thing for them in the long run, because there's certain things that you should be saying no to. There's certain things that you should put like a restriction on. Yes, easy to manipulate. Very, very, like, sometimes they're not even paying attention because they're so focused on like, how am I supposed to take care of myself? Like, I'm just so emotionally like all over the place. You know, being a father is not easy. And then on top of that, you're a Cancer father. Whew. Like, shit. Good luck, my guy. Let me sip my water to that. And yeah, that's Cancer fathers for you. It's, out of all these signs, like I'm looking at it right now, Cancer's the hottest. Cancer father's the hottest. Cancer, to be a Cancer father, ooh, shit, like, I feel you. I feel you. Okay, next is Leo fathers. My boss was a Leo. My uncle's a Leo. Barack Obama's a Leo. That's my man right there. Shout out to you, Barack. Shout out to you, even though you probably don't even watch astrology. Meh. What I love about Leo fathers is everything that they do is for the, like, everything that they stand for is reflected onto their children. So, like, you see the Leo father and then you see the children. You know? Like, you're just like, oh shit, like, wow, you. And then you look at the children and you're like, called me? Hold on, I gotta text him, don't call me. Capricorn, I'm doing something here. You know this better than me. Don't call me. Thanks. Love you. Recording live video. I had to add the love you because he's probably gonna think I'm being mean with my Aquarius ass. Okay, continued. Okay, yes. So as I was saying before the Capricorn rudely interrupted me while I was working, do you not know, child? Anyways, I love you too. Yes, Leo fathers are extremely fancy. I forgot what I was saying. Ah, shit. Can someone remind me? Think. Okay, yeah, I was talking about how, like, they're shining and it's reflected onto their children. You're like, oh wow, they're children. Even if their children may not look like they're going to be in the best place, you know that the Leo father had, you know, got them. Another thing with Leo fathers is their guidance, like the way that they guide their child, like, incredible. Because they do the same thing as Cancers. They do like the moody thing, but Leo father pushes themselves into like a separate room and they're like, figure it out, get yourself together, because everything's revolving around you right now. You know, think of the sun, like all these planets, all these children, like you gotta take care of them. And Leo father has to immediately step into the game, like figure it out. They get out of the room, they figured it out, everything's done, and the children are like, whoa, Dad, incredible, Superman, holy shit, you did this, yeah, party. So Leo father's like, yeah, you know how I do. Bring me my drink. Thank you so much. Let me just bring my drink over here so it looks like I was calling for my drink, and she's like, see how I did that? Yeah. But Leo fathers, their temper is not to be messed with, because they will know that you're manipulating them. Whereas Cancer did not know that you were manipulating them. Well, they did, but like they're used to it, so they just keep letting you do it. Leo father will not let you do that. You're not messing with them. You're not trying to you're not trying to play with them. They're not letting you do that. They control the home life for the majority, but they also want what's best for you in the future. So if you try to manipulate that when they're trying to help you, it's not going to end well. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Leo father was like, you're an adult now, you should have your shit together, because I had my shit together. I was working like X amount of jobs. I was being yelled at by X amount of people. I had to get everything figured out at a certain time, and you know, like, they start very, very young, and they're already out. They're already doing things. Leos, they're around people so much that they know that they have to evolve. They have to keep evolving. They have to keep adapting. And there is no time to just like be alone. So Leo father's like, if you want to figure it out, you gotta come by me and I'll help you figure it out. So it can be kind of domineering a little bit because they're just like, let's figure it out together. Let's get this ball on the road, you know? And you're like, I got it figured out. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to like keep being on my ass right now to guide me every second. But all they're doing is trying to help you. And they have a lot of life advice. And the life advice that the Leo father has is mostly things that they failed at. They'll never really speak about things that they did successfully, because they'll only boast about that to other people. But to their children, they're not afraid to become vulnerable. And the Aries and the children will see that. The children will be like, oh, okay, wow, like you come off as a strong, very in charge person to the public, but actually, Dad, like you're not, like, you don't have it figured out either. So that's why Leo's dad's like, hello, that's why I'm telling you, let's figure it out together. What do you think? What do you think I was telling you this whole time? You know, and then the children are like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. And Leos, I see a lot of Leos that have family businesses. They're like, oh, let's do this, you know? They want to keep everybody close, but they also want their family to like do things. And they make the image of their family look really, really good, even if it's really, really bad. You would never know. You just wouldn't. They're just good at it. Like, oh my god, they are. And another thing that I wanted to add for that is Leos, because they do like to be like creative. The child brings that right out of them. When they have children, when they have a family, when they have a loved spouse, like, they're not afraid to spoil them in every which way, because they're being spoiled like in a creative sense. And again, you know, Leo and Aquarius are like opposite signs, so I always tell you guys that you can learn something from your opposite sign, which like feels like a void. That's what children do for the Leo, is if they have children, or if they have a youthful environment, that creative sensibility starts to kick in, and they're like, ooh, yes, give it to me, you know? Good shit. Good shit. Alright, next is Virgo. Virgo, I love Virgo fathers. I do. Don't get me wrong. But the chaotic pressure that they're going to be in when they're in father mode is like, it's indescribable. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm gonna try. That's my job. So the Virgo father is not only controlling the household, they're controlling what you wear, what you look like, what you do, who you're friends with. And even if it may not seem like they're controlling, they're keeping an eye on everything. So you may feel like you're being like stalked a little bit, like, okay, Dad, chill. It's not that serious, okay? Like, I'm good. I'm only out for a little bit. I'll be home in a little bit. But Virgo needs everything to be in order. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Virgo fathers like had a time schedule for their children. And that's because when they're young, they're expected to have this sense of determination in their life constantly. Like, they have to prove themselves to people all the time, to be taken seriously, even though their perfection speaks for itself. It's just interesting that they need that in their child or their children. They need perfection in everything. Like, I used to work with a Virgo father, and he was just like, this has to be there and this has to be there. And I'm like, what if a child comes out of nowhere and messes that up, oh no, 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 I wouldn't let that happen. You see, like, they know, okay? They know that everything has to be how it is. Nothing can be mixed matched. You can't manipulate a Virgo father. You can't lie to a Virgo father. You can't do any of these things because they have it all figured out for you. They have it figured out for themselves, and they have it figured out for you. Now, Virgo fathers, this can start to make them crazy. Like, this can make them feel like they need everything to be perfect. Perfect. I can't speak, guys. In perfection. And if that doesn't resonate well with the public, and how they appear, like Leo, it will drive them mad. Like, what will people say? What will this say? And all of this, I'm speaking about it in true honesty, but it needs to be said because, again, Cancer father has trouble with the mood swings and, like, controlling the children, right? Virgo is like, Virgo is on a whole nother planet with this. Because when you have children and you have a home to take care of, it's like, oh, bitch. Like, I did not plan for this. Even though I did, I just didn't expect it to be this level of chaotic. And with all this being said, they do eventually start to find, like, a routine of, like, how they should do things. But it takes a while. And they will need the right spouse or the right people around them to guide them and give them the motivation to be a better leader, a better protector. And they will do it. They're very, very good at it once they reach that level. But again, they need the right support, because it can be a little too much. And having a family, being a father in general, I feel like it's a huge responsibility. And Virgo father will be prepared for that if only they let down that guard and let down that need to be in order all the time, because children are just going to do what they want, and family life is going to be chaotic, and it's not going to be perfect 24/7, and you're going to have bills, and you're going to have to go on family trips, and you're going to have to do so many different things that require your love for it, without complaining. And I say this all the time about Virgos, but their complaint mode is their way of showing love. It's their way of, like, oh, we gotta do this again. But actually, they, like, love it. They're like, oh, this, I'm never gonna get this again, so I might as just, well, you know, I might as well appreciate it. But they won't say it. It's just, it's under there. Okay, so these lights are making me hot. So hot right now. Okay, Libra. Okay, Libra father, also an interesting one, because they're a sign of partnership. So obviously when you link with somebody, you can have babies, right? And their future goal is always to have a family. It's always to have the perfect life. I don't know why I kept the pinkies up. So that's their vision. Whereas Virgo is trying to strive for the perfect life. Libra's just like, you know what, if it's meant to be, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But that's what I would like. That's what I would like to manifest. You know, the scales. They're like, if I put this here and I put that there, eventually, you know, eventually everything will find its way, you know? But again, they never know when or where or who it will be. They're, you know, a lot of the times Libra fathers will kind of settle. And then they'll look back on their younger years and they're like, oh, well, imagine I dated that person, my life would be totally different. I would have totally different kids. And like they just start creating like these stories that could have been the perfect fairy tale, you know, but obviously it doesn't end up like that unless they get lucky and they marry someone that they really, really, really care about, and they don't have to like worry about those things. But they'll like tell their children stories of like maybe one day it'll be great, like everything will be great, and they're always trying to give their children and their family that expectation of, you know, of like hope, of love, because they're ruled by Venus. They're never going to bring down their family. They're always going to bring them up. And even if they're feeling down, guess what? The other side of the scale, it's going back up, right? They're way down, what's going up? Their family. So that will always like level out, and they'll always be like, oh yeah, it's part of life, you know? But when they're down here, just make sure that you're checking up on your Libra father, because they won't say anything. You won't even know what they're going through, because they're just creating, you know, stories in their head to keep going through life, to motivate themselves, whatever these stories may be. You're like a better future for you, or a better future for their family, etc. So another thing about Libra fathers is they are so enthusiastic about taking chances, and they usually get lucky, especially having a family. It's like that extra boost of motivation for them. So they're not afraid to take a little bit of a risk, right? That's kind of what they strive for. Usually when you get into fathers, when they get into like a family, like they got settled down, they feel like their life is over, right? But Libra doesn't feel like that. They feel like their life just started. And I don't know, it's just so easy for a Libra father to like show that love. The only time they won't show that love is when, again, that confliction occurs. So that's why I always say, like, check up on them. And I mean check up on them by, like, tell me your story. Tell me your story. Aries is Libra's opposite sign. Aries will tell you their story, regardless if you even ask them. Libra won't. Libra's kind of just, like, shying away from it. Like, do they even want my advice? Do they even, like... Does it even matter? Like, they have their own lives. They're gonna figure it out, just like how I figure it out. But it wouldn't be bad to ask them, because they would be actually excited to tell you that you even care, you know, because they're so used to showing the love. And my uncle is a Libra. He's such a great dad, and I think he weighs himself down so much against scale when he doesn't see his kids, because he's a marine biologist, so he never sees his kids. Like, it's very, very rare. He lives in Europe. So I told him once, I was like, do you really weigh down on yourself when, like, you don't see your kids all the time? He's just like, I feel like I'm not going to be there for them in the most important part of their lives. But I have to work for them because, like, I need the money, like, I need to take care of them, I need some way to support them. And I'm just like, so the one thing that's weighing heavy on you is because you won't be there to see how they're dealing with life. That's it? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, he's like, how did you know? I'm like, I know. Like, you don't, like, what did you think this is? I study astrology. I told him that eventually, and he was like, oh, he's like, nice. So I helped guide him a little bit with that, and he actually messaged me 2 weeks ago, and he was just like, he's like, your advice worked. So he talked to his boss, and he came home early. So now he's like spending a couple months with them. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else for Libras. Oh. Because they're ruled by Venus, their need for luxury and like the desire to enjoy life is definitely there. But they can't be weighed down by living life like that constantly. There are responsibilities. You have to take control of the responsibilities in order to understand luxury and like relaxation, right? Best of both worlds. And that's something that Libra eventually figures out. You know, fathers eventually have to figure it out because they're ahead of the family. They lead the family. And astrology just helps. Yes. Okay, next we have Scorpio father. A very interesting one, that's for sure. They're so, like, I could say so many good things about Scorpio fathers. They're built for this. They're built for it. Protective, yes. Guidance, yes. Advice, yes. That kind of links up with guidance, but they're kind of different. Love, 100%. Like 100%. But the way that Scorpio father shows that is by leading by example. Scorpio's like, look what I'm doing. Follow me. And then you're like, oh yeah, let me just follow. And then you do something wrong that they didn't do. And you're like, no, that's not how you do it. And you're like, oh, okay, sorry. And they're like, let me teach you the right way. And then they'll teach you. And then you're like tagging along again, right? And then you're just like, I don't get that. And they're like, oh, how did you not get that? All right, let me show you. Let me show you. And then you're like, keep going. I don't know why I'm doing this, but just follow me. Just like we're going along, just follow me. So then it keeps going. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. What are you doing? Follow me. Like, just the scorpion sting comes out of nowhere. You start crying. Where you're like, excuse me. What did you think this is? Hands up, let's go. No, you won't fight your dad. But most likely the masculinity will show through Scorpio because they're a feminine sign. So they need to be, that masculine energy needs to come through for you to take them seriously. You know, like it's just how it is. Because they're so secretive, they're so mysterious. And that's like the general explanation of a Scorpio. Is like, oh, they're so mysterious, they're so secretive, like they don't tell you anything. They really don't, unless you open up to them. And their children are children, like they're already opened up. So for the parent, the Scorpion father, to look at their child and go, get it together, it hurts them a little bit. They're gonna say it, but eventually they're like, maybe I should be a little bit more softer. Yeah, I should be more softer, but no one has to see it. Come with me. And then they'll show you like their box of memories, or they'll tell you everything that they're dealing with emotionally. And you're like, what? Scorpio dad? What's good? Like, why are you telling me this like 17 years later? They're like, cause you broke down, so I figured I figured that it was time because you broke down. And you're just like, okay, I get it. So because I opened myself emotionally and you saw my wounds, internal wounds, that now that you're opening up to me, it's like you're the child. You're gonna get cut, you're gonna get bruised, you're gonna fall. Scorpio father is there with alcohol and cleaning you up. It's gonna sting, right? It's gonna sting a lot, but guess what? You're gonna be disinfected, you're gonna be cleaned, and you're gonna learn, and you're gonna heal. And that's what fathers of Scorpion energy teach you, is like, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna fucking hurt like hell, but we're gonna get it through. We're gonna get through it together. And I'm gonna be there every step of the way, whether you like it or not, child. We're gonna do this together. And it's like, I love it. Like, I love seeing a Scorpio father in his prime, because they're made for it. Like I said, they're fucking made for it. It's great. And one more thing about Scorpio fathers, sorry, it's gonna swipe that up, is you obviously don't want to get on their bad side, but here's the thing, you do want to get on their bad side because they're going to tell you the truth, and they're going to tell you everything that you need to know about reality, and you're going to see how they treat their spouse, your mother or your father. You know, I'm not going to talk about like the gender thing right now, but whatever it is that you have a father that's a Scorpio. That's what they do, is they're like, look how I'm treating my spouse. Look how I'm treating you guys. Look what I'm doing to provide for you. It's a lot of work. And I'm not complaining about it, but if I have to complain about it, you're going to listen. So they're really, really good role models for learning about your feminine side and your masculine side. And I think if you get yourself out of that rut, they'll be there to guide you. And it'll be scary, but it's an enlightening experience. Scorpios just in general. Yeah, so next is Sagittarius. First person that's a Sagittarius, like right off the bat I think of, is DJ Khaled. Right? He's always posting, what's his kid's name? Assad? Yeah, Assad. He's always like, his life and his dedication is all his son. And now look, he's like hyping his son up, and his son's already famous. No one would have known about the Sagittarians' children. And that's the thing, is Sagittarians, they're so full of life that you wouldn't even know they have kids. And I hate bringing it up that like, oh, children and like family life kind of weighs the father down, but that's what you see in society. But Sagittarius is like, nah, I don't play by that rule. Like, I have kids. I probably have a lot of kids. I probably have none. You just don't know. But if I'm going to talk about it, oh, I'm going to talk about it. Like carry on from Scorpio, that frequency. And another great thing about Sagittarius is they're never afraid to show their child and, you know, their family in general how it is to deal with other people, because Sagittarius has to deal with people all the time, and all of a sudden Sagittarius will cut people out. Sagittarius has like all these people and then just like will cut them all out. And then the family's like, what? Like, why are you all of a sudden disconnected from everybody? And Sagittarius is like, oh, screw it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And Sagittarius father's like, oh, look how hard I'm working. Look how hard I'm doing this or working on this. Like, Sagittarius, their ruling planet is Jupiter. Have you seen Jupiter? That shit's huge. Like, Jupiter, okay? From all the planets, Jupiter kind of stands out because, like, holy shit, those rings. Holy shit, that planet. And they just have their own kind of, like, they stand out on their own. And they stand on their own because they're able to just lean on themselves. They're able to lean on their rings. And they're able to lean on their own energy. So they're like, I can carry myself. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't even need you sometimes. Like, a Sagittarius father will straight up tell you, like, I don't even need you sometimes. But, you know, low-key, they do. They just won't tell you that. So the Sagittarius father cut people out, and then all of a sudden, they're good. There's a lot of drama with a Sagittarian father. He, like, drama as in, it's full of life. You just never know what's gonna happen next. You never know what other adventure they're gonna go on. You never know, like, what's gonna happen in your family that's just gonna, like, break down, and then all of a sudden everything's good. And you're like, it's like you're in a reality TV show with a Sagittarian father. It's very interesting, actually. Well, I wouldn't know, obviously, but just from what I studied. Another thing about Sagittarius fathers. Speaking of guidance, Sagittarius father is sitting outside with you looking up at the stars, and they're giving you like 101 deep facts. You know, like all this philosophy, all this unknown is like coming out of nowhere because they're coming out of that like hiding. And they're like, listen to this. And you're like, oh, again, okay. And they're like, no, 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 but seriously, listen to this. And it can get annoying actually, but they love it. They love knowing that every second of the day they're giving you advice. So if you didn't take it, listen, if you didn't take their advice, I'm like pointing right there. Pointing it at you. If you don't take their advice the first time, they're like, you know, it's kind of like when your friend keeps going back to the same guy or girl and you're just like, yo, I just talked to you on the phone for 5 hours. FaceTimed you like 10 times throughout the day to get you through it. And all of a sudden, you're back. Whatever. You know, whatever. Do what you do. That's the same thing as like with a Sagittarius with their children. And the father's like, don't blame me. You did it to yourself. Don't even cry. No, don't even cry. Let me give you a hug, but don't even cry. And they're like so good with this because they think they take their own advice, but they're just speaking so many facts that it's just like word jumble at some point. They're gonna forget what they said. So they expect the child or, you know, their spouse, the family, to kind of be like, Dad, you didn't say that. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what I meant. So they always gotta like keep themselves in line or else they're gonna fall off. And they're motivated only by the fact that their child is doing something right. If you're doing something wrong, I mean, obviously motivation is like a positive aspect, but for a Sagittarius, it's like, if you do something bad, I gave you the advice, right? So I'm also not going to repeat myself again, but if I have to, and it gets you out of trouble, like this time I'm gonna be stern. And then you start to see a very polar opposite of the Sagittarius, which is like a side that you've never seen before. And they can sting you in a way that the Scorpion cannot. Because a lot of people say Scorpions are like really, really bad at stinging you. But Sagittarius, when they sting you, yo, like, it's bad. It's bad. Like, it's bad. Because they won't be afraid to embarrass you. Like, it doesn't matter if you are their kid, they're gonna embarrass you. And you grow up very quickly with a Sagittarian father. Trust that. It's facts. I'm sorry, I didn't even look at the comments. Oh yeah, see? If I didn't do anything right as a teenager, we would have 2-hour-long lectures. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn, those Sagittarian fathers. Next is Capricorn. Holy shit, my legs. I need a stretch. Can you guys give me a second stretch right now? Oh, bitch. Oh, it's so hot. I'm sweating my ass off. I need to do like breathing exercises. You guys want to do it with me? And we're calm. Awesome. Okay. I want pizza. Dude, yes, pizza. 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 Cold pizza is my shit. And don't come for me because I like cold pizza. And you want to know another fact? I'm an Aquarius. I dip it in ketchup. Sometimes. Alright, don't go ew. I hear you. I hear you. Okay? But listen, tomato is ketchup. Okay? So when I dip it, it's the same shit. Yeah, cold pizza and ranch. Whatever. Same thing. Okay, so Capricorn. First things first. You want to understand a Capricorn, right? Go onto like a movie site or whatever and type in The Family Man. Nicholas Cage plays the father figure in that role, in that movie. And as funny as it is, he's a Capricorn man. I'm gonna talk about zodiac signs and like actors and actresses when they pick roles, like in movies and stuff. It's very, very interesting with like astrology. So interesting. What the fuck? Did you guys hear that? These birds. Oh yeah, one shat on me the other day. Okay. Anyways, so if you want to understand the Capricorn male, you watch that movie. It will explain everything to you about a Capricorn male. Because I don't want to like, if you haven't watched it, I don't want to like ruin it for you. But pretty much the summarization of it is that he starts off very wealthy, and then all of a sudden he becomes a family man. And, you know, it's not a very luxurious lifestyle unless like you have your life figured out first and then you choose to have a family. But some people aren't lucky, it just, you know, babies. Wah wah. Wah 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 wah. So, Capricorn male, the father, Capricorn father. Fathers, you know, the father of the zodiac is Capricorn. The pinpoint of this whole discussion is Capricorn. Capricorn, they might as well be the father, right? But they haven't got it figured out. They're freaking out inside. They're like, what did I get myself into? And they keep saying this over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't want the Capricorn father to say that to themselves. That's not a good mindset to put themselves in. But if they do accept that they have extra responsibilities now, it's a good place to be in, because that's what they're made for. Like, that's what they do best. And if you want to learn about work ethic, if you want to learn about responsibility, if you want to learn about how it is to put your shit first, you know, ruled by Saturn, you come first, get it together, go to a Capricorn, especially a male, because he is always striving for get your shit together. And they don't want to involve themselves in a family life unless they have that. But let's say they are a father. It is the most joyous experience for them because it just clicks. Just like how the Cancer mom becomes a mother, it just clicks. I was made to do this. There is no questioning. Nothing in the head is being questioned. But like I said in the beginning, what did I get myself into? The Capricorn is only saying that because like they know it's starting. They now feel like even if they have one child or two children or three children, they're like they view those children as like taking care of the entire world. Their responsibility is increased. It's all the way up. And they're taking everything in them and everything that they learned in life and they're placing it on the table. And their vulnerabilities are placed on the table. A collection of Capricorn is Sagittarius and Scorpio. Because these are two heavy signs. And what I mean by heavy signs is you have protectiveness from Scorpio. That's extra. You have guidance from Sagittarius. That is extra. And then what do? You form a Capricorn. And Capricorn's like, okay, I was made for this. I'm a boss. I can do this. And Capricorn is not taking anything lightly. Nothing is being taken light. they're stressing hard. And you will see it on their face. I'm stressing hard. I'm doing all this and I'm stressing hard. And they're so open about it. You know, they're not hiding it. They come home, once they take off that bag, you know, take off their whatever tie or shirt or whatever, they're like, I'm done, but I'm gonna do it again tomorrow. And they feel like home life is kind of, okay, it's time to open up. It's time to release that stress. Capricorn has to have a home that they can go to that can release that stress. Whereas other signs, yes, they may need it, but they can go elsewhere. Like Aries can go for a drive, you know, take out the frustration. They can go for a run, etc. Aquarius can dive into their own mind and have their space. Scorpio can use all their ability to show how they feel, and they're showing you, so they're already putting a lot of energy into you. But Capricorn is like, I need somewhere safe. I need a safe haven for myself to kind of release that pent up energy of the outside world, so I can come home and just let everything go. And that's interesting because Cancer is Capricorn's opposite sign, and Cancer rules the home. And I find that so great. Sorry, my brother keeps texting me. But what I learned from that movie was that Capricorn, they're so emotional when they're a father. And you're like, oh yeah, well, obviously every father is emotional. Not every father is going to open up to you and be 100% vulnerable. And Capricorn's kind of like known as like the bitch face. That's what people like assume. But I'm telling you, when they're around their family, children, and, you know, like a healthy relationship with their spouse, that gives them the assurance that they can break down their walls. Everyone else outside of that won't see that. You see them having their shit together, right? Everyone in that home that sees the true self of the Capricorn is like, wow, you are a leader. I look up to you. I see your efforts. Like, I fuck with that. Like, I understand that you're doing everything you can and you're focusing your entire energy on taking care of other people. And you're also, on top of taking care of other people, you're proving yourself every single day. Like, I do see a lot of Capricorns that are CEOs, that are ahead of their work because they have to bring bread home, money. They need money to support their family. And it's just sad because, like, Capricorn, they rule the public life. So they care so much about what other people think. So they have to prove themselves to other people, but they do not have to prove themselves to their family, which is why they are a perfect example of a father figure in the Zodiac signs. Incredible. Like, that's why I love Capricorns. Okay. Next is Aquarius. That's my sign. Okay. Aquarius. If there's any sign that is questioning themselves, it's the Aquarius father. And life is rough for the Aquarius father. Life is so heavy on them that they even think that their kids doubt them. They even think that their spouse doubts them. And they're so private that if they do not open themselves up, their struggles to their children, you know, their family could or may as well fall apart. And that's why it's so important that Aquarius doesn't see their family as strangers. Okay, if you're an Aquarius father, I'm telling you right now, if you want to listen to me or not about this, they're your family. Okay? Like, they're blood, okay? It doesn't mean that, oh, like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, blood can backstab you too. Okay, I understand. But we're talking about being a father. Like, your children need you. Your children are not doubting you. Even though you may think like they are. And it's because, I said it in the Aquarius Mothers video, it's that the Aquarius is doubting themselves, so they expect the child to doubt them. Even though, like, children gravitate to Aquarians like that. And I think a part of the Aquarian male is too masculine. Aquarius is a masculine sign. So, like, I'm a female. And sometimes, like, I don't know if you guys can, like, pick up on it, but, like, when I get into, like, masculine mode, it's only when I'm pissed. And when I'm pissed, I don't see anything. Like, just word knives come out. And, like, I cut anything that like, comes through. So, imagine a male suppressing that. Okay? Like, I'm a female, so I could just, like, boom, 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 say it. And it's like, whoa, I did not expect that. But the male is like, if I do that, I'm going to come off too strong. So Aquarian fathers can be so moody. Like, you would expect the Cancer father to be very, very moody. But the thing is, Cancer lets it happen. Aquarius does not let it happen. Aquarius father is like, moody. No, 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 not moody. You have to focus on your family. Focus on your family. And then they focus on their family, and then their family look like strangers, and they're like, focus on your friends, focus on your family, focus on your work, focus on yourself. Fuck people. Like, you know, sometimes, I hate saying this, but the Aquarian males, it just, like, they have all those suppressed emotions reach a point where, like, they close everybody out. They close everybody out. And they don't care who you are. They will close you out. And that includes their family. But they can get past that. You can get past that, is what I'm going to say. And it's because Aquarius is so obsessed with, like, this idea of life being a certain way, having certain control, that if they don't have that, it's like, what's the purpose? What is the purpose? I'm not doing this again, you know? But too bad, you're a father. You have to be there for your children. But now let me talk to you guys about like a positive of it, because I think I did that for all the signs, but I'm just saying this because I'm an Aquarius and I see this, and the sign that struggles the most being a father is an Aquarius, because they're so hard on themselves. I don't want you to be hard on yourself. I do not. Like, look at me. I'm not kidding around. Like, do not be hard on yourself. You are doing great. Children love you. You giving them advice is what they need. Like, you're not talking too much. You're not distancing yourself. You need to take time for yourself. Okay, take time for yourself. But when you come back, explain to your children, your family, your spouse, that you needed time for recollection, to re-energize, to charge your battery. And, like, have hope. Have hope that there's, like, a better day. And another thing. I had another thing. My uncle is an Aquarius, and he's so good with his children, but then, like, he'll doubt himself at work, and he brings that home. Capricorn doesn't bring that home. Capricorn doesn't bring that home. Capricorn releases that at home. What does Aquarius father do? He brings that home. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're better than that. You know that. You know? Like, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen plenty of Aquarius fathers, like, do this. And I'm like, bruh. And then I tell them that. And then they're like, oh, shit. They're like, yeah, oops. Okay, I'll fix it. I'm like, no, take it seriously. You're gonna fix it, right? And they're like, yeah, you're right. And it will click. They just need a little motivation. But in order to get motivation, Aquarius father, you need to ask for help. And you have to ask for help from your family, from your friends, from yourself, you know? It's important. Okay? Thanks. Love you guys. Next is a Pisces. Guys, I'm so hot right now. Like these lights right now. We're almost done. We're almost done. I don't know why this video was so long. But again, next time I won't eat before I do a video because it's like really fucking me up right now. Last is Pisces. Who's taking care of the signs? Does anyone remember? Aries. Aries. The leader of them all is taking care of them. Pisces is babying you. Pisces father is not afraid to baby their family. Is not afraid to be open and emotional. And it will take some time. It will take the right motivation, which is important for Pisces. But first and foremost, they need the right spouse, because Pisces is so focused on love. And just like this dream of finding like the right person that can give them that love that they can give to their children. But regardless, they will show love to their children anyways. I'm just saying, like, if they want to feel the fulfillment, they're going to need that motivation. And they're not afraid to ask for the help. It's just they have a hard time trusting. So lots of the times when the Pisces male is not on good terms with their spouse, it will reflect on their children. Whereas Capricorn, if they're not, Aquarius is not fulfilled in their public life, like their friends or their work life or their success or their hopes and dreams, it will be reflected onto, reflected onto their children. Sorry, there's like a bug. So Pisces needs that. They need to feel like they're not coming and going. Because when you look at the Pisces, one swims this way and one swims that way, right? There's two fish. Their needs go this way and their wants go that way. So I need a family, but I want to do this. I want to do that, but I need this. I need to go here, but I want to do that. They need me, but I want to do that. You know, it's like this confliction between self. And because Pisces is like ruled by like the lucidity of the mind, like delusional, altered reality is pretty much what it comes down to. So Pisces likes to kind of live in that reality, that fantasy world, that they ignore the reality world. So they're always thinking about like me. That they tend to ignore like what's going on around them, because I like to think about it as the Pisces is in the real world. They're in the water, right? Sorry. But eventually, little fish, you're gonna come back up. Like you're gonna jump and then you're gonna sense air and then you're gonna go right back down, right? There's air up there. You know, people live there. Okay, everything is not just ocean. Everything is not just being stuck down there. And that's the same thing with the Pisces mind, is everything's not just in your head and like in your fantasy. There's a real world out there. There's a family that needs you. There's a spouse that cares for you, or there's love out there that wants to attract you, but you keep pushing it away. So how are you supposed to find that? But man, when I tell you, when they find it, they find it. And it's like, they're fine. They settle into a bad life or even like a good life. They don't care. Like Pisces is always going to cling on to whatever is going to be there for them, regardless if it's bad for them. And I'm a Pisces moon, so I tend to do that a lot. Like I'll cling to things that like are like bad for me. But then my Aquarius self is like, bitch, let go. You don't need it. Put it back. So Pisces lives in this fantasy world, and the family life brings them down back to reality. Come down. Dada, daddy, help me, money, graduation, parties, friends, grow up, responsibilities, help me, help me, help me. And Pisces is like, okay, give me a second, I need water. Goes back into fantasy world, comes back out. Okay, what did you need? Daddy, mommy, need this, help me, And Pisces is like, okay, give me a second. Goes back and gets water. They dip, and they come back, and then they dip, and then they come back. And it's like roller coaster. And I wouldn't say that Pisces does this because they have to. They do this because they need to. Reality is too much for Pisces. Like if they could slow down time, they would. If they could pause time, oh hell yeah, they would. But if they could go back in time, they probably would. But they won't say that to you, right? Pisces would love to go back in time. And they would love to help their family out, or do the right thing, or be the right dad, or be responsible, or give them the best life that they need. But it's too late, right? So why didn't you think about that the first time, Pisces? You're living in reality. You're living in reality. It's fun. It's nice to be in a fantasy world. But if you lose things that really, really care about you and you push them away, it's not going to be a good life. But a good thing about Pisces is they will show you love, and they will spoil the hell out of you. Pisces fathers will spoil their kids. They won't question it. But they also, when they reach a point in life where they have to also take care of themselves, and they see that you're growing up and they have no one to take care of them, they're going to start to push you because they're scared. They're scared to be alone. And they're scared to see you go because, again, they don't want to see you, leave. That's like one thing Pisces always says is like, don't leave me. They say it for a reason. They're like, don't leave me. So, but sometimes you gotta let things go, and then you learn, and then you fix them. Right, Pisces? And that makes you a great father, because you live and you learn, and going this way and that way is only gonna teach you that. But then you gotta learn how to connect those two. And you gotta know that those two fish work together. One's not going that way and one's not going this way. They go in a circle. Yin yang. The bad and the good. Everything comes back together as it should. Oh my god, that rhymed. Wait, did it? I think it did. Okay guys, this video is almost 2 hours. But I hope that it uploads. It will, but it's just really, really slow with the process. I'm so glad that you guys joined me in this live. I will try to do them more. And I'm sorry that I didn't answer your questions. I I think for the next live that I do, I will probably be answering your questions, and it'll be about anything you guys want. I just don't know what day I'm gonna do that, but I will do it soon because I have a lot of free time now. So up until I have to do my master's, which is in September. But all of summer, you have me. I'm yours. The Aquarius is yours. Rare, right? Yeah, so I hope you guys had a great Father's Day. I hope you had a great day. And thank you guys for sticking by me and watching this live. I thought I was going to tell you guys something, but I guess not. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you very, very soon. And yes, this video is live. Hi. How do I prove that I'm live? I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to spit water out? I just did it. I just did it. Alright, my Aquarius ass. How do I shut this off? Oh, okay. I love you guys. Be kind to one another. And stay weird. Yes, I really did that. Because you're dealing with an Aquarius. 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 Alright, guys. Bye. 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 See you later. Bye. Bye. Peace out.